Hi everyone, Miranda Pitrone back here with you to do another video. I am super excited. It's officially fall. So today I was thinking we're going to do another fall themed stone. But first I wanted to kind of show you guys a couple of things. A lot of you have asked about the fall leaves that I did the acrylic pouring on, and I don't know why I never got a picture back up about it. So I have them here. And I just wanted to show you, this was an acrylic pour, and it's obviously you can see how big this leaf is. They're huge. But that's the fluid painting that I did. And I didn't end up dotting these ones because I was super excited about how they came out. So that's them finished. So I've been working on a lot of different projects lately. As you all know, life has been really hectic. I'm playing chauffeur mommy basically because my kids are going in opposite directions every minute of every day. But I still want to have time to get back here with you all, and obviously I want to get time to paint. So today we're going to do a pumpkin on one of the Santorini type stones from Capcouriers. It's just a smaller one. And this one is measuring about, oh my, hope if I put this the right way, 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So that'll be the size of the design we do today. 3.5 by 2 3/4. And so I'll use the dotting tools today. So the dotting stylus pack, and that's the rainbow set that I have here. But really, to make it your own, you can just do it whatever tools you use. It'll just change the sizing a little bit, which is not that big of a deal. And if you want to go bigger on a canvas or something like that, you can use larger tools. I'm sure you guys know all that by now. So I'm going to pick out some nice fall colors here, and we will get started. Alright, so first off, I need to obviously sketch our pumpkin. But what you're going to want to do is kind of give yourself some space. And I guess to get a good idea for this size, I'm just going to use probably 3 fingers, which will be the section that my pumpkin is at, and then about, so it's like a 3-to-1 ratio, so about my thumb where the stem will go. So when you're trying to think up a design, you want to think about how much space you need for each section of your design. So, you know, I can put a little pencil mark here, and that kind of delineates where my thumb width was, and then down here is the room that I have to create my little pumpkin. Alright, so I have my, I'm going to do this upside down, I think, for you guys, unfortunately. But just to draw my own little pumpkin here, is start with the rounded part at the top, and I'm just kind of pointing it off at the bottom. It's not a full oval, but it's also not obviously coming to an actual point. And then I'm just going to sketch kind of a little backward C shape off the side here, and then another C, and then just finish it up just a little higher, so that it gives the illusion that there's that angle. And then the same on this side. You're just doing a C, the letter C, and then tuck it up under the one that we first created. And then one more little C with a little more narrowness to it, like that. And then this part is for our stem here. I'm just going to kind of sketch in a rough area of where I would like for the stem to maybe go. Yeah, I guess like that. Works out pretty good. And then we have a little back part of our pumpkin on the sides there. Okay, and then we're going to add a little leaf here, and then maybe some of those corkscrew viney type things off the edge here. Another one maybe. And I'll do another one here. I will leave it at that for now. But you can go online. There's free vectors, free clip art, and stuff like that. And like I said, maybe I'll just draw one of these little guys up and put it on to download. Alright, I think to get like that viney type pumpkin stem going, where it's wrapped around a little bit, just to give us an idea. Alright, so now that we have our little pumpkin sketched out, I think I'm going to go with a darker orangey color like this, Scarlet. So it's got a little bit of red in it, but I want it kind of dark because we're going to use it as a shadow for the sides of our pumpkin, the chunky sides of our pumpkin. Alright, I'm going to use the green dotting tool, which is the largest one. It's about 3.5 millimeters. And we're going to do swipes for these. Let's give you a little bit of swipe practice. But it also is going to be a good size type of stroke to give us what we need for our shadow. So I'm going to get a good amount of paint on the tool, and we're going to start at the bottom and then go around the curvature here on the side of our pumpkin. Now you see I am just dragging it longer by picking up a little bit more of the paint that's at the bottom, so you're not re-dipping your tool or anything like that, and just grabbing a little bit from the higher up section to elongate that swipe. Now for the next one, we're going to go with a smaller tool. We'll go with the yellow because that chunk of the pumpkin's not quite as large, so we don't want a big shadow like this one. We just want to make them a little smaller, but it's the same idea. We start at the bottom and we're going to follow our line that we have painted here up and around almost to the tippity top, like that. So you can kind of see where we're going with this. And then the same with the last one. Debating whether or not I want to downsize the tool a little bit more. Yep, I think I will. Alright, so the pink one on this set is actually the smallest end. And I'm going to switch to that because I want it to be a little bit smaller here. And this one I'm actually going to double dip, but I don't want to make it any wider. I just want it to go farther. And I'm just kind of using it to cover up our pencil marks too, because I hate to have to erase. But that's that side of our pumpkin. Now, for the other side, we'll go back to the yellow for this one so they match. But we're going to go the opposite way. So you're going to take your tool, and then you're going to pull this shadow up, the shading on this side up and around the opposite direction, and then just follow your line up. And then again, for the last little guy, we'll use the pink. And I didn't get quite enough paint on there. That just comes with practice, with knowing how much you need to drag it up. But and those are the shaded parts of our pumpkin. So we're gonna let that dry for a little bit. Alright, so while we're letting that dry, I'm just gonna pick out a couple of browns to use on our stem. And I think I'm going to go with milk chocolate and another maybe lighter brown cocoa. Alright, I'm going to grab some of that cocoa first, I think, and using our smallest dotting tool, the pink, I'm going to grab it up here at the top of our stem and then just pull it down to the top of our pumpkin there. And then we'll also, I think I'm going to try to alternate, so then we'll come over here to this larger one and using the other end of the pink, the larger side, I'll start at the bottom here and pull that up to the top. And then we'll skip one and do a little one over here. And for now we'll let those dry. Alright, so now that our oranges are dry a little bit, I'm going to switch to orange sherbet, which is one of the multi-surface paints. And I'm going to use the smallest dotting tool, and we're going to outline each of the sections of our pumpkin. And I'm stealing from the wet dot so that there's less on my tool to make the smaller dots. So if I were to dip it in the full paint, I would be making larger ones, but I'm stealing from this dot so that we can downsize quicker. So just to finish up the outline here with the orange sherbet, and remember that you can pick up from your wet dots to get the smaller sizes down and around the whole outline. I'm going to leave these for now because I'm going to go a little bit darker with them because they're in the background. So we want it to kind of look shaded back there. Alright, so now we are going to grab that other darker brown, the milk chocolate, and we'll fill in between the cocoa ones that we did earlier. And I think I'm going to use the smaller end here just to make it a little bit easier to tuck the paint in here. And I'm going to start at the top with this one and pull it down alongside the first one that we did. And then I'm going to actually flip it around for the next one because I want it a little bit fatter at the bottom here to fill in this space. And bring it up and around like this. Actually switch to the smaller end too if you didn't get it quite as far as you wanted it to go. And then I'm going to stay with this smaller side here and just do one more little tuck here. So we're going to let those dry now too. And I'm going to switch to Jack-o'-lantern orange. I think we'll basically just do a mini mandala in the center one here. So we're going to fill these other ones, the sections of our pumpkin, in with two different oranges. The jack-o'-lantern orange is first. And I'm going to use the larger end just because I want a few bigger, maybe not that big, bigger dots to help fill in this section. And this is more of just a haphazard fill area, so a big one here and there, a small one here and there. And I'm just using the larger end of the pink stylus. And it's nice our little pumpkin is taking some shape here. Alright, now while that is drying, I'm going to take some turf green, which is one of the multi-surface satin paints, and we're going to do the outline of our little pumpkin leaf here. Sometimes these multi-surface ones are just a little bit thicker when you first pour them out, so just give it a little stir in your palette, and that'll thin it out a little bit. So I'm using the smaller end of the pink stylus, and we're going to start at the internal part of the leaf, and then we're just going to follow our outline, just like that. I didn't have quite enough paint on there to pull it all the way, so I just re-dip it. And so this is just a good way to show you that you don't need to use the paintbrushes all the time. If you are someone who likes to just use the styluses, you can just use the styluses. especially doing the small detail work like this. Alright, and I think I would like, sometimes these curlicues die and they turn brown, sometimes they're green, the vines. So, but I think I'm going to do mine in green just because it helps add contrast to the orange. And you want them kind of uniform the whole way, so I'm not doing it as a swipe. I'm just going to continue the paint around. You're basically just painting with your stylus. It's still the small one. And then once we get out to the end, we'll just let the paint drop off it to kind of make that smaller tail look. And then I might wait to do this one over here so I don't bleed into this green that we put down for our leaf. Alright, now I think we'll go back to our Scarlet for a minute, which is the one that we used here for the shadow. You don't need to put a lot of that down because we're just going to do a large dot right here in the center. So I'm going to go with the green stylus because that's our larger one. And grab that Scarlet and we're going to plonk it right down there in the center of our pumpkin. Now we want to kind of keep the design fairly small, the dots fairly small, so we can fit more of them in there to kind of create that dainty look. So I have my etcher, but I'm gonna also show you, you can use a toothpick or a mechanical pencil. I mean, I usually use small liner brushes that are teeny tiny to do the smaller dots. But we're using tools for this one, but usually everyone has a mechanical pencil in their home, don't they? I don't know, nowadays that's what my kids all use for school. So, but if you don't, a toothpick or anything that's just small and pointy. So for those of you who have been following me for a bit and seen my videos, I have what I call my etcher, which is just one of the dotting styluses where I broke the end off of it. So you can hear it's actually sharp to a point, and I'll use it to trace out designs on backgrounds. I use it for the smaller dots. But like I said, you can just use a mechanical pencil or a toothpick or anything that will give you something very small. Alright, so we want to leave space to do the larger part of the design on either side here and here. So I'm going to take some Peaches and Cream with our small tool. And we're going to go at an angle here. We're just going to make 4. So we're going to leave the spaces open to build it down the oval. You just make your squared off like that with the 4 corners using the Peaches and Cream. Now while that's drying, I'm going to go back and I think I'll use the little pointy etcher. Again, it's a little smaller. I can tuck it up here. We're going to go back to that green, the turf green. And we're going to finish out our other little vine here. think too, with this little tool, we'll just put a center vein down our leaf here. Just give it a little more character. And I think once these are dry, I'm gonna actually switch and put a whole nother brown, or maybe we'll use a metallic to just do these two sections in here that are still open. I'm gonna add a little glitter effect, give it a little pep with the metallics. Any excuse to use metallics, right? Alright, so now I'm gonna grab the coral blush. And we're gonna go for maybe a little bit bigger with the blue stylus. It's got about a 2mm end on this one, just a little bit smaller than the green. And we're going to put the coral blush on all the four sides here. And while that's drying, we'll switch to Tangelo orange, and we'll use that to fill in the other ones here on our pumpkin fill with a smaller end of the dotting tool, so we can just kind of tuck them in here. So I'm using the pink one, the smallest end. That's one of the things, so you don't have to wait and watch paint dry, is working around your piece. You just have to be cautious to not dip your arm or hands or wrist or other tools in the paint that you have that's drying. And it's okay if they overlap, it's just meant to be kind of a fill in of the color. Kind of work around in a little bit of a circular motion. I'll put a large one down and then some small ones, and then come back when it's making small dots to where I started. That way you don't have all big dots in one section and all small ones in another section. It evens it out a little bit. And remember, again, you can steal from the ones that are already wet instead of going back to your palette if you want smaller dots. those are drying, I'm gonna switch to chocolate metallic. So it's a darker, sparkly metallic. This one is the multi-surface line. They also have dazzling metallics with Decoart that have some nice coppers and browns. And this one is a little thicker, like I said, the multi-surface ones. You just have to stir it up a little on the palette. And I'm going to go with this smallest pink stylus. And we're going to add on here to our stem. Give it a little bit of metallic pep here. So I just have a little bit on here now to fill in here. And mine is not large enough to do a full swipe, so I'm just going to fill in the space there. And then this one I'll start at the top. It just kind of depends on how much space you had. And then maybe one tiny little section here. Like that. And it kind of gives it a little more depth when you're using multiple colors. Alright, so while I have the Tangelo here still on my palette too, we're going to go back to these little background ones here. And I'm just going to fill in the dot. With dots, I'm sorry, the dot, the background there for a little bit darker section. Alright, so now I'm just debating. I think I'm going to leave these two. Obviously we can't fit much more around them. But I'm going to start back with the Scarlet that we used and just do kind of like a chevron idea. So it's more of a triangle shape. I know normally when you put your dots around one of these other dots, you keep it tight and walk them around close so that they're tiny. But I'll use my smallest dotting tool. And I'm going to put the largest dot at the top and then kind of bring it out almost like a triangle shape here. And then we'll go down to the Tangelo. I think I'll just do it dark to light. In the first round I just did to the light peach, but this one's a little farther out, so we'll bring it down all the way on the side. And after the Tangelo is jack-o'-lantern. And sometimes too, the edger and the smaller tools, they don't hold as much paint, so you're gonna have to re-dip more. Reload. And I'm debating, I kind of like having some white in here, but I think we'll just go with the Peaches'n cream and put a larger dot here at the top and one at the bottom just to kind of finish off that, and we'll leave this as our negative space. And I'm feeling like on this guy I need a little something down here, so I think I'm going to do another vine. When I have something like the background, without a background, I like to just kind of give myself an idea where it's going to go, so maybe have our little curly Q come out here like this. And maybe give him a leaf too. I just was feeling like that spot on the stone was empty. So again, that was the turf green. And then we'll just grab a little bit here and pull it out. And then you have a fun little pumpkin. So I'll wait for this to dry, and then I'll just use a white eraser and erase the whatever you can see left of the pencil lines. Just get an artist eraser and just go over it lightly to get rid of those pencil lines. And these stones, a lot of people are applying resin to keep that sparkle. But I have found, I've used Liquitex High Gloss Varnish, and I have found that or the Decoart Triple Thick doesn't really diminish the sparkle too much of the stones. But it may not be as shiny as the stones are right now with the sparkle, the mica type in it, but I have not had many problems with it still being shiny. Alright, so I've erased my pencil lines now, and I just want to show you guys. This is the Americana. Let me see if I can zoom out here on my camera. There we go, that's a little bit better. So this is the varnish that I was talking about. The Duraclear High Gloss. And I just use a brush, a soft foam brush, to apply them. And I try to use a larger one so that I don't have to work it too much by painting over the same spot over and over. So sometimes I pour it directly on the stone, which is what I'm going to do today. Sometimes I just pour it and soak up the brush. This Duraclear is a little bit thicker, more like a resin, so some of you who use resin could test it out and take it for a test run, see how you like it. But I really, really like the high gloss. I feel like it just makes the colors pop. So you don't want to overwork it too much. And we'll give it some time to dry, but you can see this, the shine is still in the stone. Maybe my lighting is too bright here, but there you go. You can see. The shine is still in the stone, and it makes your colors pop for the paint that you used. So also I just want to mention that this one from Decoart is also an indoor-outdoor varnish, and it's water-based. But this one also will protect it. You can put it outside. And it's permanent once you seal it and it dries. It's permanent. But I just wanted to let you know that these can be put outside as well. Alright, so there we have our nice shiny little pumpkin. I hope you enjoyed doing this. It's something a little different, but nice for fall. And if you guys are looking for me elsewhere, I'm on Instagram and Facebook as well, Miranda Pitrone Art. I also have an Etsy shop, and I'll post a link to that in the description, but also any of the products that I use in this video, I usually try to put a link for you guys so you know what I'm using for each video. Alright, I hope this was fun for you all. I hope you're all doing well. I've talked a little bit about vlogging, so doing kind of check-in videos where it's not an actual tutorial of the stone. It'll be kind of like updates, things I'm working on, products I found that I enjoy, that type of thing. And a lot of you have told me in the poll that you're interested in that type of video. So I'll be posting a few of those as well here and there, but not to overwhelm the video feed with that type of thing. I will still be doing these tutorials. All right, I hope you all have an awesome day, and I look forward to hearing from you all in the comments. If you are looking to get these videos first to get a notification, you can just click subscribe and click the bell, and that will send you the notifications for all my YouTube videos that I put out, and you'll get them first. All right, take care. Happy painting!